Hi, I'm Tim Janisewski, and welcome as we continue our devotional study of the Gospel of Matthew. We spotlight Matthew, and we are into an exciting portion of the Gospel, chapters 5, 6, and 7, in which Matthew gives us a sample of Jesus' proclamation of the Gospel or the good news of the kingdom. We call it the Sermon on the Mount traditionally. Actually, the first person to call it the Sermon on the Mount was St. Augustine, who I have referenced a number of times. He lived from 354 to 430. But these days I like to call it the GOAT Sermon, the greatest of all time sermon. And of course, in our previous two devotions, we are looking at the greatest of all time sermon introductions. We know them as the Beatitudes or the Blesseds. And as we have proceeded, we've seen that the Beatitudes are divided into three sections. The first section is the word blessed itself, makarios, favored, to be congratulated, happy before God, God blessed. That is repeated 9 times. And then in the second column, if you will, the middle section, is the character or the virtue or the values of someone who is living the gospel of the kingdom. And we saw last time that there are internal virtues and values, such as being poor in spirit, mourning and being contrite for our sins, being humbled before God, hungering and thirsting for a new kind of upright life, and wanting to be pure in heart. Then we saw, secondly, that there were other virtues and values that extended outward to other people. We show mercy to other people. We want to bring the peace of God to all our relationships. And we are willing even to be persecuted when we take a stand for that which is right and favorable in the eyes of God. And then thirdly, we saw that some of those kingdom values and virtues must indeed, they all indeed need to focus on Jesus. Blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you, say all kinds of evil falsely on account of me. Rejoice and be glad. This list of kingdom virtues and values can't just be moralism. We can't take the teachings of Jesus and somehow separate them from the teacher himself. No, it's always a package deal. If you want to have the teaching of Jesus, you got to have the teacher if you want to have true, vibrant, living Christian spirituality. So today we come to the third and final column or segment of these Beatitudes, and that is the content. What is the nature of these blessings that God will pronounce upon those who live with kingdom virtues and values for the sake of Jesus? What are they? And again, even as the virtues and values are countercultural, we're going to find that the content of the blessings goes against the values of our current society. So let's start with that. If you were to ask the average person, what is a blessed life? What's a fortunate life? What's a favorable life? I suspect that many people would say, well, it's when you're successful. A successful person is fortunate and favored. Many people talk about health. If you have your health, you have everything. Health is great and important, but it is a high value for being blessed in life. Still others would point to security in life, maybe financial security or simply life-setting security. Still others would cite things that are the blessings of the world, such as being loved or admired or adored or followed or praised or famous even. Well, oftentimes these are the things that mark the content of the blessings in the secular culture and the secularized version of the Beatitudes. But we notice from looking at our text that what Jesus has to say about what is blessed in the sight of God is radically different. So let's read one last time the Beatitudes, and this time focus your attention on that third column, the outcome or the content of the kingdom life. This is the word of the Lord. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Thanks be to God one more time for this opportunity to read the Beatitudes of Jesus. So we're looking at that third column, the content of the blessings. And what I want us to see is that they really have a focus on the kingdom. After all, Jesus is preaching the gospel of the kingdom. We shouldn't be surprised to find that the content of the blessings is the kingdom. If you are blessed, what do you get? You get the kingdom. All right, that's not normal for us. We don't live in a kingdom. We live in the United States of America. We don't usually talk that way. So, basic definition. What is this kingdom that you get if you live kingdom virtues and values? Well, it's really three things. First of all, the kingdom is the reign and the rule of God. You are blessed in that you receive God's reign and God's rule over your life. And that's countercultural. Most people don't want anybody telling them that they should rule their life or have authority over their lives. I do what I want to do, as one of my friends like to say. You don't own me. Well, actually, Jesus says one of the great blessings of living for Jesus is that you have a benevolent king who rules over your life. A second portion of the kingdom is the people. All kingdoms and all kings have to have a people over which they reign and rule. And if indeed you are a follower of Jesus Christ and are living according to kingdom virtues, values, and principles, then you are a Jesus people. You are a kingdom person. The way Paul will come to say it is, you are a citizen of God's kingdom. And you are an heir who is blessed to all the rights and privileges that go with citizenship in the kingdom. And then a third part to the kingdom is a realm. All kingdoms have a realm. And what is the realm? Well, the realm will be, as far as we can see, east and west, north and south, because on one glorious day at the end of time, there will be a new heaven and a new earth. And Jesus says, those who are sons and daughters of the kingdom, they will indeed inherit that earth, where God rules and reigns over his people forever and ever. So you get the kingdom. That's not something that we think about as a greatest and highest value in our common understanding, but that's what Jesus points us to. But along the way, there are benefits and blessings that come directly to us. Jesus says that we will be comforted, we'll be forgiven. We will know the blessing and the mercy of God overflowing into our lives. Not only will we be merciful toward others, but we will receive constantly the mercy of God. We also know that we will behold God. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. This is the beatific vision in church history. There's no greater thing than to behold him. Now we see in part and we understand in part, says the Apostle Paul. But then on that great glorious day, we will behold him as he is, and there is nothing greater than that. And indeed, Jesus does say that if we live for the kingdom, that there will be rewards in heaven. Great is your reward in heaven. And that reward will not be cars, it will not be money, it will not be the security of that which we have accomplished. It won't be the adulation and admiration of other people. No, we will receive the greatest of rewards, to behold him and to live in the presence of God forever and ever. To be there, as the book of Revelation says, at the crystal throne, adoring God and the Lamb, Jesus Christ, in the presence of the sevenfold Spirit. Indeed, that will be the greatest of all of our blessings, when every tear is wiped away and there'll be no more sorrow or mourning or loss, for God shall be all and in all. What a contrast, isn't that, to the things that the world would value and commend to us? But those are the blessings that Jesus offers to his kingdom people. I hope you hunger for those and long for those and want those in your life. Take some time to meditate upon these kingdom blessings in your own devotional time now as you reread the greatest of all sermon introductions, the Beatitudes, and then take time in prayer. I'm Tim Janisewski. As always, like us on Facebook, share us with other people, and join us when we talk to you next time.